but I don't miss it. I'm from a very small town somewhere far in the north, and I wish to never go back to this town.
What a coincidence. Everyone here is very far from the north. There's so much land to explore to the south. I can't wait till you see. Also, like I said, crazy shit going on down there, so be careful. But how much do you all know about this wonderful organization that we're all trying to become a member of? Have you two been studying everything about them since you were a wee turtle?
Oh, I know all about them. They get the shiny badges, right?
Yes, sir. Little guy, almost as big as you are.
So see, I know all about them. They get the badges.
And people get really old in doing that job, right?
You know, the good ones do. But listen, when you have a job as glorious as this, it's almost like you live 1,000 lifetimes in terms of how amazing and how long your own story will live on because of the glory you will attain. It's, in some ways, they live much longer than otherwise.
Flickwood comes down and is like, but they do get the badges, right?
Yes, yes. There's the copper badges and the silver badges and the gold badges and the platinum badges. They got the badges.
Hot dang, I'm in.
Kari
You all know about the whole
study for the test and is like just sitting there like soaking this all in. Like, yes, of course, I knew all of this, right? Mm-hmm.
So what do
Does anyone not know about them? Would you? Go ahead, Florian.
I was just going to ask Nordal what he knows about the test.
Oh, well, the test is a test of might to see if you have what it takes to go out and slay the creatures that no one else can slay. They say that there's different parts to it, but it starts with an individual display, feat of strength kind of thing. And after that, it's a little hazy because unfortunately a lot of people die in that first part. So the other parts are a little less clear.
Wait, you say feat of strength?
Well, a feat of strength of sorts. I mean, but it's all about what strength.
Things, and then Flickwood looks at his tiny gnome arms and is sad at the idea of lifting heavy things being the test.
Nordal reaches out with his turtle maw and just like ruffles your hair and is like, "Oh, don't worry, little one. There's many types of strength, and it's all about what you have in your heart and what you bring to the table."
Oh yeah, and I can do that.
Well, anybody else have any questions? I mean, again, I'm just a wealth of knowledge about this organization, but after I finish the sale, I'm going to turn in so I can be well rested and ready to prove myself tomorrow.
Do people choose their own assignments, or so? Assuming we all make the test, how do we get to choose whichever assignments we want to pick up, or are we getting assigned by someone? Is there some kind of organizational structure that assigns us to specific tasks?
That's a great and very detailed question that I actually have no idea about. Now, I know that the guild's been around for centuries, and there's the guild master, and there's the different ranks of each of the badges. And so the platinum's at the top, and then the gold's below that, and then the silver badges, and you start out as a copper. In terms of actual assignments, I know that, you know, they send the coppers out after things that are still far stronger than any common man or militia can take care of. And God, when you get up to the platinums, they're practically gods taking down dragons and giants and demons from the abyss. Outside of that, I'm not really sure. But I can't wait to find out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't, I mean, like, you're a pretty nebulous wealth of knowledge. No offense, sir. Like, what are we up against tomorrow? Do we each get our own? Are we going to be working together? Is it going to be like an individual situation, like a hammer with a little thing and the bell?
Quick pause. Can everybody look at your character sheets and tell me your passive perception, which should be, I think, in the bottom left-hand corner, if I remember correctly.
13.
13.
12.
13, 11, 12. Who was the 11?
Me.
Okay. So everybody else, while you're having this conversation, you notice there's this figure in these very dark purple robes, nearly black robes, leaning against the wagon that's where the guy's been serving the ale. They have their cowl pulled forward, but you can see from their skin that's showing in their hands and maybe their chin jutting out that it seems to be a dark elf, a drow. But outside of that, all you can really see is just kind of the glint of the firelight in their eyes from under the cowl, kind of looking out over your group. And they seems to have been paying attention to your group the whole time. Back to the question. Nordal's like, well, from what I've heard, it all starts with a one-on-one fight where you have to take on a monster and prove that you by yourself can handle what this job entails. So, and this is also, I think, where the, death part comes from, because I think a lot of times the monsters, unfortunately, just kill these unfortunate young men and women who just weren't ready for the test and haven't been preparing as long as I have.
Okay, well, that's helpful.
Do you know what
Where do they keep the monsters?
we're talking
Are they
about?
Around? Yeah.
I'm sorry, both of you were talking at the same time. What were you saying?
You go.
Well, that's very nice of you, Kari. Baltazar, what were you saying?
What kind of monsters are we talking about here? Do you know what category we're discussing here?
Oh, I think they bring in things of all types. I'm pretty sure nothing's off limits. But at the same time, they don't want to just kill everyone. So they have their bar. They throw things of the appropriate challenge for that bar at you and see how you fare. Well, unless you fine folk have anything else, like I said, I'm going to go get my rest, do my meditation, find my center, study my spells, and
bye, Nordal.
Bye.
Sounds like we should all go prepare for our imminent death. Some of us want that, apparently. And with that, Kari picks up a giant, backpack that has got, all kinds of shit just, attached to the outside and, dangling down from beneath, and, throws it on her back and heads away to the rest of the camp.
Nordal turns and kind of tromps off, lumbering past the cart. As he goes, for those of you who had noticed the dark-robed figure, they're no longer there. Would you like to do anything else before you call it a night? Any of you?
Wait, Scott, what was your character's name again?
You don't know
haven't
yet.
told you.
We still don't know.
Bye, Balthazar. Bye, mystery guy. And then I go off too.
Anything else from Balthazar or our mystery man?
No.
Nope.
At this point, the mystery man goes up and has a very friendly conversation with everyone else. All right, so you each return to your small camps that you've made. An hour before sunrise, with the starless dark above you just starting to purple, and a stale breeze winding through the grasses of the hills around you, you hear a booming voice echo out from the direction of the arena of bones. The test will begin as the sun rises. What would you like to do? Any prep? Anything you would like to do over the next, probably 30 minutes before the sun rises? 45?
I would like to do a stealth check of I'm gonna go up to the mystery guy and wake him up and unnoticed, I guess, if I can.
Well, okay, so hang on. There's a few things. So you want to go find him, sneak up on him, and wake him up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not necessarily wake him up, but just like appear at the I want to be there like within minutes after the announcement goes out.
Okay.
And then try to
first,
sneak up if I can.
Make an investigation check to find him out of the hundreds of people camped out in
Nope. I got a 4. And a 4 plus 1.
You woke up
Uh,
some poor bastard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you find you have a lot of false starts where you find people that also are quiet
I have
and
now annoyed so many dark brooding figures with swords on their back. Not believing. And I've woken up all of them with like going, "Hey, Mister, oh, you're not the one."
hope you do well today. Anybody else? Any special prep, whatnot?
No.
I have a question actually about so everybody is like randomly like arrayed throughout this camp. We're not like in the same area.
Essentially, just imagine that like y'all found this arena, but it's in these like foothills leading up to the mountains, and spread across these foothills are just like hundreds of random encampments of anywhere between like individuals like yourself who are camped out to groups of maybe like 5 or 6 at most. And so, again, like Flick, you could try to find someone, but for the most part, it's pretty random. The only thing you probably have an anchor around is that there was this arena that you all came for, and then there was that one dwarf selling beer out of his cart.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, if it's not the same group, then I will do nothing.
Okay. Anything from Balthazar?
I've never played my specific class before. Do I need to prepare spells?
Oh, yeah, no problem. So for you, actually, no, for your class, which we will not give away, you do not need to prepare. You learn new spells at certain levels, but it is not like others where they have the full inventory available to them and they pick every day. Okay. 1 second while I read something real quick. Yeah, let's go with that for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you all kind of pack up your camp, get your things, kind of move towards this arena. And again, it's kind of butted up against this one especially steep hill, and at the bottom is this arena. And kind of along the hills around it, essentially creates quite convenient, almost like stadium seating for people to kind of look at all of this happening. And so from here, you can kind of get a good view of, there's probably a couple hundred, 300-400 other people around. And so like you could probably scan the crowd, and y'all are fairly dispersed, but over time you can kind of like pick each other out. You also can like see Nordal that you recognize, as well as a few other random people that you might have like passed on your times coming here. First, music change. And second, even at this hour, you can feel the heat of the first day of high sun growing around you. No clouds in the sky will offer you any protection today. As you look over the arena, you see two figures that weren't there before. Standing on the western hill, overlooking the arena, is a dwarf in full plate armor. A shiny gold badge glints on his breastplate. No one had a passive perception higher than 12, right? Did someone have a 13?
Yes, I have a 13.
Okay. For those of you with a 13, and not for the other characters, even from this distance, you can see that this dwarf is missing his left eye with a large scar in the shape of an X in its place. Standing at the opening of the arena's bone palisade is another dwarf, bald and beardless, wearing no armor, with a sleeveless shirt revealing incredibly muscular arms, all of which makes its skin color stand out even more, ashen gray. Hands rest atop the battle axe that are propped in front of it, the axe standing nearly as tall as the dwarf itself. Attached to its linen shirt, you catch the gleam of a similar golden brooch. You hear the booming voice again, and this time you can see that it originates from the armored dwarf on the hill. As the high sun rises, we begin this year's test. If you survive all three phases, you will have proven yourselves deserving of membership within the Monster Slayer's ranks. But be ready before you step into this arena. Once a Monster Slayer, always a Monster Slayer. Only death will free you from this bond. Additionally, make no mistake, the hunt will become your new life. While these badges give us freedom to travel across these warring lands, we are no mercenaries. The conflict between factions is insignificant compared to the threats that we battle, as our test here will make clear. Phase 1 of the test is called the culling, as we have no desire to hide our intent. To move forward, you must defeat a monster here in the Arena of Bones, as every Slayer before you has done. The rules are simple. Solo combat, no outside help, fight to the death. Outside of that, anything goes. At this, there's a slight murmur that kind of spreads across the crowd around you, as perhaps not everyone talked to Nordal last night. You kind of look back to this armored dwarf and you see him smile. So, who's first? Silence drops like a hammer across the hills. Well, let's get this party started, says Nordal as he pushes his way into the arena.
Yep.
As Nordal walks up, the burly, dark gray skinned dwarf with the axe moves aside and lets him in, and then moves exactly back to their position, kind of guarding the entrance, this time turning around to guard facing inward. Nordal walks in with his walking stick, stretches his shoulders a little bit, and assumes a kind of ready position. You see a little bit of kind of lightning crackling lightly around him, and he's got this big smile on his face. As you're all watching, you see right in the middle of the arena, all of a sudden this blue light appears, and it's just this glowing line of light that slowly spreads open into what some of you recognize as a portal. And out of this portal flies this creature. It is, can I show you a good picture of it? I think I can. Let's see.
A giant martial arts panda.
Oh, here we go. Okay. I thought there's a way I could. No, hold on. Let me remember. Okay, do you see something on the screen on Roll20?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see this winged creature come flying out, and flies straight at Nordal. And like as soon as it comes out of this portal, comes straight at his face and just like bites him in the side of the face and starts clawing at him. And he is like rapidly trying to get it away, but he's not able to like keep it from biting him. And for those of you who are close enough, you can see that as soon as it bit him, where it bit slowly starts to turn gray and spreads down kind of the left side of his body, almost as if it's turning into stone. With his free arm, he turns, holds up the arm, says some words, and you see this ball of fire kind of coalesce in his hand and shoot out, goes flying at this bird creature thing, but it just ducks out of the way, comes looping back around, bites him on the other side of the face, continues to claw at his front, and you can see that now this side of his body also starts to slowly turn to stone, and this thing kind of starts to like fly in a circle around him, 10, 20 feet up in the air. You see him starting to struggle as this stone is just like slowly starting to encase his entire body. Right as he like completely solidifies and no longer moves, this bird just comes back and starts like pecking violently at his eyes, clawing at his face, and you just see like little pieces of stone chipping away until this bird has like essentially like pecked out and carved off half of his head, which, as you see, is just entirely stone now.
I hope that wasn't Terry.
After a few moments, you
Wow. R.I.P.
you hear the armor-plated dwarf say some words and hold up his hands, and with that, this creature flies back into the portal. The portal closes up, and it's all over. This statue of what you saw as Nordal, now almost headless, standing in the middle. At this, a group of halflings that are kind of front and center shoulder their packs and push their way past you, heading back towards the long road. As you look around, you see many others throughout the hills heading in the same direction as the finality of the text shows itself. Too much for some to wager. You look back to the... Yeah, go ahead.
Can you check the message I sent you?
Yeah. Actually, this is a good point. For... hold please, as this is a great question for now and kind of going forward. So for those of you who are kind of watching this and wondering like, what the hell was that? I think for this one, let's say you can make an Arcana check if you want to try to see if you like know anything about if this creature seems familiar to you at all.
Okay.
19.
Wait, is that just a D20?
Mm-hmm.
A D20, and then if you look at your character sheet under the skills section,
Yes. 11 for me.
all right, we've got a 19. Florian, what is yours after your any bonuses? Are you
13 total.
13?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and Pat, I think you're the only one left.
That's a key question.
And it is not a beast.
Okay. No, I got a quick fail. Real life
Nice.
dice are not treating me well. So
Cool. All right. In that case, moving, kind of returning real quick. One second as I reorient myself. Okay. You look back to the arena and you watch as what some of you noticed was the dark-skinned, burly dwarf is a Duergar, a dwarf from the Underdark. You watch as the Duergar that had been standing guard pushes Nordal's petrified remains out of the arena and to one side of the entryway. An eerie new greeting for whoever else wants to test their fates today. With that, the armor-plated dwarf up on the hill says, "Who's next?"
Flickwit pushes his way forward, completely unfazed. Like, he passes by Nordal and, like, pats him, affectionately, but otherwise keeps on.
And walks right in?
Yeah.
Very nice. As you walk into the arena, again, this burly Duergar with the axe kind of assumes their position. You can see on the ground, now that you're actually in the arena, that there is a large kind of circle symbol in the middle that you're not an expert, but you kind of get a sense that it's something magical about this, and it might explain why this creature just kind of like appeared out of nowhere. And with that, let's get the fun started. So,
Is the creature still like flying around, or did it disappear in the same way?
No. The dwarf clearly did something of the arcane, and it kind of flew back into the portal. The portal reappeared, and it flew in and out. All right, I'm gonna move. We're gonna be using more of Roll20 now, and I'm hoping that it works as intended. Let's see. I need to quickly give you control of your characters. 1 second. Okay, Adam, that's you, and Gloria, that's you. And again, I'm just using like placeholder tokens. And I'm hoping that, can everybody see the battle map?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and like I said, none of your like character sheet or anything is in here for the little token. This is literally just for like tracking initiative, HP. And that's pretty much it. Okay. Cool. So with that, Flick, you are waiting inside this lovely arena of carcasses. And as you stand there, you see the light of kind of that you saw before appear in the middle, and it slowly peels open. And coming out of this, you see a monstrous, massive creature. Let's see if I can get this right again. Ignore the little goblin writing on the back. You just see you just see this wolf-like thing that is huge and snarling and this coarse gray fur. So we'll have the test. Ooh, you keep asking the tough questions, my friend.
You gotta be ready for the new classes, John.
It is not a beast.
That's the beast.
Okay.
Interesting.
Go ahead and make an initiative roll, and I'll do it for this guy.
10 plus 4, 14.
All right, 14. And everybody else, you get to settle in and enjoy the entertainment.
Oh God. Kari's got her eyes closed and is just like sitting cross-legged and kind of like breathing deeply. Doesn't want to watch.
All right. You got the jump on it. Lick, what would you like to do?
So let's see. I'm gonna so I have 25 feet speed plus 10. I'm gonna kind of move so that I'm. Wait, can I move it? I don't think I can.
You should be able to move. If not, just like if you remember, just hold your cursor to make a circle and tell me
I
where you
move
want to move it.
there,
All right.
like just to kind of a little bit more distance.
Yep.
With that as well, and then I'm going to attack with my short bow.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it with sharpshooter. So only plus 2 to attack.
Oh my God, he's a gnome ranger.
So 17.
What was it? 17? 17 hits. Yep,
Right,
roll damage.
So, since I was sharpshooter, 1d6, so 2 plus 13, 15.
15 damage? Oh,
Yeah.
snap. All right. Everybody else, you see Flick just like happy-go-lucky sprint over to the side, and then all of a sudden just stop, and with this incredible poise and discipline, fire off this shot that comes and like stabs itself right into the chest of this creature. And immediately you see it just like slump down and start kind of limping on one side.
Wait, is it still alive?
Oh yeah, it's still alive.
Okay, then with my Dread Ambusher, I can do another extra attack.
Because you can do that if you move 10 feet, and if you move 10 feet and it's the first turn of combat, right?
First turn of combat, plus 10 speed, and an extra attack with the attack action.
All right, go ahead and attack again. Are you doing this one also sharpshooter?
I think I'm gonna go for the safety of just not sharpshooter attack.
Okay.
Okay, well, that was a 3, so it's plus 7, 10 to hit.
10 does not hit. Everyone sees this like big smile on Flick's face as he's kind of looking around at the crowd. He heard a couple of cheers come, and he's not really paying attention this time, and this one just goes long, loses itself in the bones of the wall behind him. All right, any other tricks up your sleeve?
I think that's it for now.
Awesome. All right, and clearly no one else is involved in this combat, so you don't have to worry about your turns. But you can imagine that a similar situation will arise. So feel free to start exploring the character's options if you need to. All right, it is now this creature's turn. It is snarling, a little bit of blood coming from the left side of its mouth, but just starts running straight towards you. And 5, 10, 15, oh yeah, within just like a few bounds, it is right up on you. And it's gonna bite you.
Oh no.
13. What's your armor class?
14.
Oh man, as it comes down at you, you're just too quick. You duck down underneath. And I think that's it. I think that's all it can do.
So
yeah, your turn.
Second warg.
I'm in melee. I'm going to So I forget. Is it with the two swords? Can I do 2 attacks with swords, or
You have 2 short swords?
yeah?
Okay, so
Because
you
that's
can do.
built in. I didn't spec for dual wielding, but I forget if that's
Yeah,
required.
right. So what you can do is, if you are not a dual wielding specialist, anybody can make. If you have 2 weapons, you can make a regular attack per usual, and then you can use your bonus action to make an attack with your offhanded weapon, but you don't get to add your proficiency bonus to that attack.
Oh, that's already on the sheet then.
I think so.
Proficiency bonus is on the to hit, or is that on damage?
Oh, sorry. No, just on the damage. So the one where it says short sword and short sword offhand, the short sword offhand has everything appropriately calculated for this.
Great. Okay, that's just what I was double checking. So first,
Yep.
Main hand attack. Oh geez, 2 + 5 isn't gonna do it. Offhand, 15.
All right. So you, as you're kind of ducking out of the way, you come up, you try to swing and hit with one, but just catch only for, come back with the other, and the second one definitely does hit. So what's your damage on that?
Okay. 4.
All right. And with this, you kind of like nick this creature across the foreleg on the same side that was already kind of limping, and with that, it like almost crumples, but it's still standing. With that, it's gonna just bite at you again, as if it's a fairly simple thing and doesn't have much more else it can do. 13. Doesn't
Still
hit.
not. All right, back to me.
Everyone in the stands is just seeing this creature that, like, compared to Flick, is like 5 times the size, just like coming down, and you're just bob and weave. Back to Flick.
17. So that hits.
17. And wait, was this with? Are you doing the 2 sword attacks again?
Main hand sword again. 17, so it hits, and I rolled a 6. +3 is 9 damage.
So I want to use this more and more in this game. So how do you want to do this? How do you want Flick to kill him?
I want it to be the, like, with my gnome nimbleness, I like grab it by the neck, but I kind of like jump up on top and then just like slice its throat.
So you all see, like, right as it's coming down to bite at him again, instead, Flick just like scrambles over the back, grabs it, cuts across the throat, blood just like sprays all over the bone walls behind it. And Flick does a nice little flip off the back and lands to a booming cheering crowd.
And it lands with a yippee!
the first victory of the day. Let's switch the music. Let's get rid of this. So after this creature like slumps to the ground, clearly is no longer moving, the armored dwarf up on the hill, and again, his voice is so loud that it's almost as if he's speaking through a megaphone. Like, it is unnaturally loud the entire time he's been speaking. And continuing so, he looks down at you, Flick, and says, "Who seeks entry amongst our ranks?" What is your name, little one?
Oh, me? Flickwit. Well, my friends call me Flick, so you can call me Flick.
Very well. You have cleared the first test. And with that, the other dwarf, the Duergar kind of walks by you and says, "Wait out there with the rest of them. We'll let you know what happens next." And it's like mumbling this as it grabs the hindquarters of this warg and single-handedly starts slowly dragging its body out and tosses it to the other side of the entryway So now there is a statue of Nordle without most of its head to the left and a dead corpse of a warg to the right.
Are you gonna eat that?
You're welcome to do with it as you please. And like says that as.
And then I'm going to be like trying to figure out how to butcher it, but I'm probably not going to do that really effectively.
Perfect. At this, the dwarf in the armor says, "Who's next?"
So, yeah, all right.
Wait, was that Florian?
Sorry.
No, go Florian.
All right. I'm stepping into the arena.
Very well. You step in, similar drill. The doer guard gets out of your way, and essentially is standing here. And you get the sense, based as you're now standing in the arena, kind of looking back, she's there to keep you in, not to keep anybody else out. And let's see. Okay, fantastic. Well, first, the right.
You can do it, Balthazar.
Nodding.
Yet again, the portal opens and kind of quickly jumping backwards out of this thing. You all see this lovely little creature.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Very
geez.
big, mischievous grin across its face, but a kind of stumpy humanoid figure, and just fire coming off of its head, out of its eyes, out of its mouth, cracks in the skin, just fire everywhere. Go ahead and
Ooh, he looks scary.
do an initiative roll.
Like provide commentary off to the side. You know, just really oblivious to the fact that it's probably not kosher for him to be commenting on someone else's match now.
So for initiative, it's just 20, regular 20, right?
It is, but then if you look at your character sheet in the middle on the first page, it should say your initiative bonus. It's just below your armor class. It's
Okay.
for you. I think it's a +2.
Yeah. Well.
So 5 + 2, 7.
Yep, that's right.
All right. So this thing gets to jump on you. Let's see what is in its repertoire. So as its bonus action, it just looks at you and smiles, and all of a sudden the whole thing just like bursts into flames, and the little bit of fire that you saw on its head and hands is now just like roaring across its entire body. Bright light it's already, you're in broad daylight, but now there is just like, it is illuminating every nook and cranny of the bone palisade around you. And then with that, it runs straight at you. So let's see how far it can get. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It runs right up to you. And with that, reaches out to hit you with one of its hands. Oh my God. Double nat 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that you don't need a backup character. Okay. Let's see.
That would be amazing.
Okay. So it reaches out and just like claps you in the middle with both of these flaming hands and does 15 points of fire damage as this burns immediately straight through your clothes, blistering your skin. I'll go ahead and track hit points on roll 20 just because it's super easy for me.
Yeah, I have a little bit of life left.
And with this, there's throughout the entire like arena area, there's this audible gasp as people are just like, "Oh shit!" There goes
Hang
another-
on. Wait.
Oh no!
So I just because the description of that spell is a little bit vague. It says that I have a spell that captures some of the incoming energy, but I would have had to cast it before.
No. So actually, if you look at where it says to the right of the spell, it says time, as in how long it takes to cast the spell. That one says one reaction. So that means that actually you cast that spell as a reaction to damage. So this would be exactly the time to cast it.
I'm going to cast that spell. I'm going to absorb those elements.
Perfect. So that uses up a first level spell slot. So at the top of your page, you can just click on one of your first level spell slot things, and it will mark it for you that you used it.
At the top of my page.
At the top of that spell sheet, it has your name and then all your spell slots. So that's where you just keep track of it. And so, this is great. So actually, you only take half of all of that damage.
Oh, wow.
So
that is very helpful.
As everyone in the crowd sees this like flame roaring along Balthazar's side, it feels almost like his body is like funneling, like soaking some of it up, and you can kind of see the rest of him start to glow orange and red. Clearly not what most of you expected to happen. Yeah. Nice use of a reaction. It is now your turn, sir.
Okay, so I'm just trying to. But for this one also, it lessens the effect and it stores it for my next melee attack.
Yes. So assuming that you do a melee attack as opposed to a spell on this turn, you would be able to channel some of that damage, that same type of damage, back into that melee attack. So it would add fire damage to your melee attack against this roaring fireball creature.
Okay. So, but that's not what I'm going to do. Instead, what I'm going to do, I had something planned out, but not for this creature, I have to admit.
It's almost as if fate has picked a creature that would be interesting for each of you to fight.
Almost like that.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Ice Knife.
Oh,
I'm going to cast it.
That sounds cool.
So one thing I want to clarify real quick, that does sound very awesome, but I want to make, so just like how it's not great for Flick to try to shoot his bow and arrow when he's right up in like front and center on somebody, I think there may also no. There's range attack. Aiming a range attack. Yep. So you have disadvantage on the attack roll if it's within 5 feet because it is a ranged spell attack. So you can still do it, but you're gonna have disadvantage on the roll.
Okay, cool. No, I'm not gonna do it.
However, something that has a range of touch is going to be like not have any sort of disadvantage.
I'm gonna do a shocking grasp.
Awesome. All right. So for that, you're going to roll a d20 and add 5, and let me know what you rolled.
Mm-hmm.
So 19. Yes,
Oh,
that
hell yeah.
definitely hits. So now you do 1d8 lightning damage.
1d8. Okay. Awesome.
All right. So you reach out and spread your fingers, and you don't quite touch him because you naturally burn yourself on the flames. But this lightning shoots out of your hands, and you see it kind of like course through this small creature's body. The grin on its mouth fades a bit. As a note with that spell, on a hit, in addition to the lightning damage, it can't take reactions until the start of its next turn. For all of us who are very rules savvy, we know that opportunity attacks are reactions. So technically, because of your spell, if you move away from it, it will not immediately attack you with an opportunity attack because you shocked it.
Okay.
You don't have to
then
move
I will. Then I will move away from it as far as I can.
Definitely.
Great. I think you have 30 feet of movement. So essentially you could get, pretty much to this corner way over here if you'd like.
Sounds good. Yes, I'll do that.
Shit. Why is my... great. So after shocking the shit out of this thing, you all see Balthazar running across his normal clothes, now having these 2 little hands burned into the side of his body. This creature, as it like slowly moves around looking for him, is just going to run over with its little flaming self and reach back out again because it can move 30 feet and it only has one thing it can do. But this time, it as it's trying to catch up with you, it's like reaching as you're running at the same time and doesn't take hold. It's back to you.
All right. And, okay, so it's still right in front of me. So
It's still right in front of you.
Yep. So, all right.
And while you just go ahead, keep talking with us, figuring I need to switch headphones.
Mm-hmm.
No. As a side note to the rest of you, Rosa and I are dying because we're weak people that live in San Francisco now, and it's over 80 here, and everyone is melting.
Just come down the road to Sacramento where it's like mid-90s.
Oh, God.
No thanks, Pat.
Hard pass.
All right.
Okay.
Balthazar, what's happening?
All right. So I'm just gonna take my dagger. So because for all of my other spells that are distance spells, the disadvantage would apply as well.
Yeah. Anything that says ranged spell attack.
Mm-hmm.
Certain ones so it has to say ranged spell attack in the description.
Yeah.
Or just say so you know Shocking Grasp works, and it's a cantrip, so it doesn't use up any spell slots.
Oh, I can't. So Shocking Grasp, I can recast that.
Oh yeah, you can cast that all day, every day.
I will. Okay.
The beauty of cantrips.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that again.
All right. Go ahead and again make another d20 roll, and we'll add 5. 14 hits. Go ahead and roll damage again.
Yes.
That was a D8.
And so, yeah, it was a D8. 4. All right. So, everyone in the crowd is watching what is now starting to look like a slap fight, an arcane slap fight of sorts. This thing comes out and tries to grab him, and he jumps over and slaps it on the back. And again, this burst of electrical energy comes out. And this thing kind of visibly deflates and is getting like moving even a little bit more stunned and seems angrier, very unhappy with what has happened thus far. Again, would you like to, since he can't take a reaction, run away from him again?
30 feet away into the opposite corner.
Awesome.
Also running.
5 minutes. Also what?
A running flat fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Running.
This thing shakes its head and comes running back over to you once again. Once again, reaches out with its hands. Ooh, I'm guessing 17 hits, right?
Yes.
Oh shit. I also didn't notice something before. Oh man. Okay, so we're playing with the same, sticking to the rolls and seeing how it plays out as we did before. It reaches out. This time it's so angry that its flaming hands grab your ankles and just roar up, and you feel this fire just roast through all of your clothes, doing 11 points of fire damage. And with that, it's kind of like cackling wildly as it does so. But you still stand. It's now, it does 11 points of fire damage. It's now your turn. However, the same reaction spell that you used before, you could do again.
That was my question. So yes, I would do that, of course.
Great. Mark off another one of your first level spell slots.
I did, yep.
And is it like a cumulative effect? Is this like a Black Panther situation? Like his robes are turning purple?
Unfortunately, it's not. It only lingers around for one round.
Damn.
All right. It is your turn again.
All right. So the shocking grasp did work, so I'm gonna try it again.
All right. Roll a d20.
Oh.
You like are in you are in such pain that you almost like it's hard for you to see for a second, and as you're reaching out, he is just ducking out from underneath. Anything else on your turn?
I don't think there's anything I can do, right? I mean, if I move away, he gets an opportunity attack.
You are correct.
Yeah. I don't think there's any. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It is his turn again. Reaches out once again. Oh my God! This thing is rolling incredibly well. It does 8 fire damage. Reaches back out, and actually it's still holding onto your leg and just keeps flaring up the fire. Do you use the same reaction you've been using?
Yeah, so what is my, you kept track, right? What is my current count before that?
Well, if you don't use your reaction to absorb elements, you fall unconscious to the ground. If you do use your reaction, you will be down to 3 hit points.
Then I think I should use my reaction. I think that's a smart choice.
All right. Yep. Mark off another spell slot, and then it is back to you.
Okay, so is there anything else that? Sorry, give me 1 second. I just want to
take time.
All right, I'll try it again. It's the best I got in my repertoire.
I think you're probably not off. Go ahead. 11 plus 5, 16. 16 hits. Do a d20. Or just sorry, not a d20.
Right?
Do your d8.
Oh my god, these saving throws are fucking bullshit.
Yeah. They are.
With this, actually, first, with that 3 damage, it had exactly 3 health left. How do you want to do this? With your shocking grasp to kill it.
I'm going to look it in the eye, clearly ambivalent about my emotions, and then with my what does the shocking grasp do? With the shocking grasp, I
Just do one of these in the eyeballs.
yeah, no, I directed
Or just like
I directed at the creature.
Slap.
I directed at the creature, but clearly, like when the moment hits, I'm incredibly moved to tears. Not just because I'm damaged and clearly injured, but also because just a very magical moment is happening right now.
So you all see like him stand straight as he's getting his leg scorched, reach out and grab this thing by the face and channel this electrical energy into its head. And oddly enough, you see tears streaming beautifully down Balthazar's face as this thing seems to all of a sudden like swell with electrical energy and then continue to swell and then explode, because this kind of creature explodes when it dies. Balthazar, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I can.
Oh my god.
So while I'm doing this, I just want to scream, isn't this sublime, the wonder of the world, the universe, decay, death, destruction? There's nothing more beautiful in this universe. Okay, nothing more majestic, nothing more sublime.
Amazing. All right. So roll a d20.
So wait, okay. It's a D.
So roll a d20.
D20. Okay, come on, please. I thought about this character. I thought about it.
I thought about it.
Whoop! Did it not take it?
No, it didn't come through on my
Oh
end.
my god.
Okay, and
Sense is helpful.
and then you get to look at the top of your first page of your character sheet where it says saving throws, and whatever the number in the dex box is, you get to add that.
And saving throws in the dex box, it's 2.
Okay, so 9. That does not succeed. You take.
Oh my god.
1 second. Oh god.
Jesus.
You take 12 points of fire damage. Do you want to keep using your trick you've been using?
I want
Because
to, but
technically
even
you
that
can.
is not going to do it.
Well, hang on. Let's just see. Go ahead and I advise you to use that thing to absorb elements, so you will only receive 6 points of damage.
Good. Yes.
Okay. So now, if I recall, your character has a trick up his sleeve called Strength of the Grave.
That is exactly. Sorry,
what?
I would have. I forgot about this. Yes, I do have that.
Yep.
So I can make a charisma saving throw.
Yep, and the DC is going to be 11 because it's 5 plus your damage taken, and your damage taken was only 6 because you used absorb elements.
Yeah.
So you just got to beat a charisma saving throw of 11.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
All right, and I have a 5 bonus on this, so okay. Cool. Okay, so I roll a d20, and all I need is
A 6.
a 6. That's right. Okay, I can do this. I can't possibly roll that shitty consistently. This is not possible.
Oh, this is an amazing first game. All right. You all see, for everyone else, you see, he reaches out, he pumps lightning into this thing's head until it explodes. The blast completely engulfs him in flames as he's looking up, talking about the sublime nature of death. And as he like crumples to the ground and everyone is just like completely stunned, this kind of like dark energy surrounds him, and all of a sudden he just floats back to standing, barely standing, as if he only has 1 hit point instead of 0.
Oh my god.
No one touch me. No slaps in the back, nothing.
And this time there is not cheering coming from the crowd. It is just stunned, confused silence.
Except for Slickwitz going, yay!
That was amazing. I mean, I was going to try to keep him alive somehow, but I also, because we're using Roll20, I can't lie about the rolls. That was amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
Sean, you need to invest in the real dice.
I have plenty. But I don't, I like the hanging on the edge by this. Okay. So, the dwarf in the armor again kind of booms out his voice and says, "Who seeks entry into our ranks?" Looking down to you, Balthazar.
My name is Balthazar.
Well done. You will pass on to the second phase. Wait outside as we see how well the rest fare.
We will.
And again, this grumpy Durgar comes in and pulls on these like thick leather gloves and is grabbing this still flaming pieces of carcass that have now kind of spread out all over the area. And as she finishes up her job, the booming voice comes out again. Who's next?
Do you want to go next, Adam?
Yeah, I feel like the International Man of Mystery should close us out. Kari shrugs off her backpack and hands Balthazar her water skin and says, nice job. Do you mind washing my stuff for me? Hope you're okay.
I'd be happy.
Excellent. Kari enters the ring. And what does she find? Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
You can do it, Kari!
She finds the music suddenly changes. The glowing light appears again, the portal opens, and slowly coming out is something unlike anything that any of you have ever seen before. It seems to be a statue, or perhaps some sort of creation that has a shield as its body with spindly legs coming down, touching the ground, arms emerging, holding weapons. It is kind of shaped like an inverted pyramid, and everyone is essentially just giving mostly puzzled looks. There's no no sense of fear that's kind of coming across the crowd. It's just genuine puzzlement as everyone sees this thing, this construct of sorts emerge out of this portal.
Okay.
And with that, go ahead and roll initiative.
Natural 1.
Excellent.
Nice.
Here we go.
You know how
Let's
to do it.
go. Let's
Let's do
go.
All right.
You were just too confused to even have a sense of what to do. And this thing, this creature starts clanking across the ground, coming straight at you. Easily closes the distance, and it has a javelin. Two of its arms have a javelin, and the other is just this like solid fist. And it reaches out, and the javelins start coming at your face.
Cool.
Ooh, does a 22 hit?
Jesus.
It does.
Does an 8 hit?
Nope.
Does a 5 hit?
What the fuck? 3x multi-attack, Jonathan. A 5 is
It's not just one drone, it's 3.
So it hits you with 2 damage.
Oh, 2 damage.
1d6 plus 1. So actually, yep, 2 damage.
Okay.
The other plus 6 is for the, yeah. So it comes out, and like you were so confused, and you were jump diving out of the way, but one of them just barely nicks your shoulder, and you can feel just a little line of blood start to streak down your arm. With that, it's your turn.
Okay. Kari's gonna sort of sweep her cape to the side and pull out a flail, a piece of wood, metal ball on the end of a chain, and just gonna go ahead and whack at this thing.
Nice.
9 plus 4 is 13.
As you come at it with the flail, it brings both its javelins up and knocks it out of the way.
Okay. Bonus action, patient defense. Just gonna sort of take the flail back and like move into a defensive position, and that's one key point. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and that means it has disadvantage on attacks against you, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
it's disadvantage. Nothing to AC.
Yep. All right. So as you kind of assume your position, it once again comes stabbing at you with these 3 javelins. 8, 4,
Miss,
and
miss,
16.
Hit. Hit. That third one does.
So again, this time you are ready for it and are able to jump dive out of the way, but it's almost as if its mind, like its weird eyes are kind of tracking you and starting to notice a pattern, and comes into this last one and nicks you in the shoulder. Also, I should probably be tracking this damage on you, shouldn't I? There you go.
On my sheet.
Okay. Back to you.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do a martial arts attack and sort of just go to like kick it between all of the different implements it's got. Natural 20.
Awesome. And actually, when you attacked it with the flail before, you could have done a bonus action unarmed attack that you didn't.
Yeah, but I used my bonus action to do patient defense.
Oh, you're right. I
was afraid of the 3x multi-attack.
Yep.
I'm not going to get too far out in front of something like
Nope. Okay. Yep. Wise move. Okay. So what did you say? You rolled a nat 20?
Natural 20 on my unarmed strike, which was a kick. So I get 1d4, and then I also, on my crit, because I'm a half-orc, savage attack, get to score Oh, that's with a melee weapon. Does an unarmed attack because I'm a monk
Yep.
as a melee weapon?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So 3d4.
3d4 plus 2.
Oh, shit rolls. So 6 damage total.
6 damage total.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm going to do, as a bonus action, Flurry of Blows. And that is that 2 more attacks or 3 more attacks? I'm trying to find it on my sheet.
2 more unarmed attacks.
2 more unarmed attacks as bonus action.
Yeah.
First one is a 14. Second
No,
one is a
I
20.
already grabbed this one. It's fine. I'll put it back. I'm done.
14 and a what?
14 and a 20.
Okay, and that's
20.
with your modifiers and everything?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, 14 doesn't hit, 20 does.
14 does not.
Right.
4 plus 2. 6 more damage.
All right.
I'm it's this. I just checked. It's not a bonus action or anything, but I now have my agile carry because I only made unarmed attacks. So then she pulls the flail, sort of holds the chain to the stick, and like steps back, and I'm +2 to my AC for the next round.
If I do, oh, yep. Woo.
Yeah,
A lot of shit going on. Okay, so everyone watching just sees this like blur of movement as this half-orc woman just like comes in around all of these arms and it's just like hitting it right on the joints, and you can see this thing like start to stagger back and is like very quirky in its movements, barely seeming to hold it all together. And as you kind of look back to Kari, she's standing there again, posed, waiting, this time kind of holding her flail for anything that comes at her. With that, it's going to do 2. It comes at you with essentially each of its arms. So 2 javelin and a fist punch attack. 16, 22, and 11.
You have to meet armor class because I'm at 16.
You have to meet armor class.
Those first 2 hit.
All right, so it catches you again comes across your thigh with one of the javelins, and then kind of as you winch, the fist catches you right across the jaw, not getting a full hit, just knocking you a little bit. So 11 or 9 more damage. Back to you.
Okay. How is this thing looking?
You were noticing that it is incredibly jerky in its movements, and like after this is kind of like staggering back. It seems that you have like really, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a flail attack.
Go for it.
Ah, damn it. 7.
7? Nope. Despite its kind of quirky movement, it's able to continue to kind of like parry aside.
Okay. 1 more bonus action for an unarmed strike. 14.
14. As you kind of come out with this, you do catch it like in the central area, but realize that you were hitting like solid metal. It is a tough construct. All right, back to it. It hit, and this time we'll say, oh, son of a bitch.
At least it was the fist, not the javelin.
And given like the kind of cross wires, this is as much as it gets off on you. 2 and 7. So again, as you're kind of looking this thing over, kind of confused, not knowing, having never fought anything that didn't have flesh and bones before, it again comes at you and is able to continue to just score one hit after another. And everyone in the audience is looking out and sees now both this construct and Kari both seem to be running on far less energy than they started the fight with. Back to you,
Bob. One more flail attack, I guess. God damn it, 7 again.
7?
7. Bonus action, flurry of blows. Natural 1 and an 18.
Natural 1 and an 18. Yes.
Yes. Come on, baby. 3 damage.
3.
3.
And any tricks up your sleeve at all?
Well, I was an idiot and attacked with my flail, so I don't get to do my cool AC bonus. Nope, because I just blew my last key point. So I'm just going to sort of stand there, heaving, breathing heavy.
And was that an arm strike that you hit it with?
Yes. Wait, so on a it would only get 1 swipe at me with an attack of opportunity, right?
It would only get 1 swipe at you with an attack of opportunity.
Okay. How do I get a sense of how fast this thing is? Like, does it look like it's
when it approached you at the very beginning of the fight, you got a sense that it moved about as fast as you've seen most people you fought move.
Okay. And I would, guess that this thing is probably like 40 feet across. I'm gonna just like try to dodge past it and scoot over here, like 40-ish feet away, and let it swipe at me. Ah, shit, I put so much energy into this fucking character.
All right. So you hit it right in the in kind of connects right where the arms like join the torso, and as you do, kind of both these javelins kind of drop out of its hand, and then you sprint to the other side, other corner, as far away as you can get.
40 feet.
Yep, which methinks is I mean, the far I think this is as far as you can get.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Well.
Yep. As you go, it whirls and tries to hit you with its fist as you run by. 16.
That puts me unconscious.
As you kind of run by, you get clocked in the back of the head by this fist. Right as you start to stumble, go ahead.
Face into the mud. The moment of silence, and I'm going to use my relentless endurance to get myself back up to 1 hit point.
Yep.
4 fishes.
You fall to the ground, come back up with 1 hit point. Well, everyone who's watching sees her drop and get to all fours, and just this like rage in her face as she jumps back up. Still raring to go, although technically, as you get up, you're able to run off to the other side.
It doesn't say I can't use my strength or my movement. Good call.
As this thing turns and follows you, it slowly is like creaking across the way, coming after you, barely able to stand, and gets right about there with all of its movement. It pauses for a second and then continues to stumble over, but has had to use its dash action to be able to get there.
Shit.
So it is now your turn.
Nice. Okay. Just let me check one thing here.
You get the sense that literally you just need to land a single more blow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna come at it with the flail one more time, and that is gonna be a natural fucking 20.
I mean, you can roll damage.
Where was that when I was
satisfaction?
When was that? What like? Where was that hiding with all those fucking shit rolls? Yeah, 7 plus 5 plus 2, so 14 points of damage. Just like Babe Ruth, like running Happy Gilmore baseball swing into the side of the
Yes.
Yep. As you see this swing come, it just like explodes into a million pieces. Well, not a million pieces. It explodes into all the arms come flying off, and then the torso goes flying. As if in that single blow, you almost did as much damage to it as it has hit points.
As I did
in one turn.
Entire combat round. Jesus.
But as you all watch these pieces flying into space, flying across the arena, you also see that they start disintegrating into dust before they even come close to hitting the ground. And as like Kari catches her breath, the wind just blows and there is no longer anything there.
No souvenirs.
Gone. Nothing to be cleaned up. The booming voice calls out again and is like, well, it seems like you lot today like to keep things interesting and keep us on our toes. We appreciate some good entertainment. What is your name?
Kari.
Kari, you've proved yourself worthy of at least 2 more challenges. Wait outside and we'll continue the day.
Drops her flail in her belt and walks off back towards her backpack and her stuff that Balthazar's been watching.
Who's next?
And then my character just sort of silently steps forward into the ring.
And I haven't actually been asking y'all. I'm assuming that everybody kind of just like walks in a little bit and stops. It's not like you go sprinting right towards the middle.
Right. Yeah.
Once again, our lovely portal opens. And, oh yes. Let's see. How should I even start to describe this one? You see coming out of it, what at first you get the sense of is just a very tall humanoid figure. But upon closer inspection, you see that where typically there is skin and hair, instead there's nothing but vines and bark and a stray leaf here or there. This creature almost seems like a human man just like completely consumed by vines. Go ahead and...
I am Groot.
Pretty much. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Nice.
All right, 11. And what's your modifier? Maybe at the top of your character sheet in first page.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Sorry. My whole computer crashed just a second ago for some reason.
Oh, nice. Just under your armor class.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Oh, does it really matter against the 4?
Actually, no, it doesn't.
An initiative of -7.
But good to know.
Right. Right.
I think it's actually for you +0. So.
Okay. Yeah, mine,
all right.
I don't have a modifier.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So just straight 11. All right. what would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna hit it.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's gonna draw his greatsword very like formally, like he's done it like 1,000 times, and he's gonna run up and smack it with said greatsword. I don't think. I was gonna see if I could do booming blade. But that's
yes.
only.
Hell yeah.
Yes, you can. So
Oh, I can? Okay, great. Then I'm gonna do that.
Yep. And so the way that booming blade works is, it says like as part of this spell you make a melee weapon attack. So it's functionally the same as just making a regular attack, but it then adds on to it if it actually hits. Cool. So go ahead and roll your d20, and then just make your normal greatsword modifier.
God damn it.
4, and for the greatsword, I think it's +4 to hit.
Yeah.
You come charging forward with your greatsword and come down, and it raises up its arm, and it kind of, you catch it in the shoulder and realize it was much, much tougher than you expected. Whereas this usually would have, been fine for a normal individual. This one's a bit tougher. Any other bonus actions or?
I don't think I have any bonus actions.
I don't think you do either. All right. It is Mr. Vine Creature's turn. Okay. It's just going to reach out with these vine arms and whip them at you. 10. What's your armor class?
16.
Oh, yeah. No. You just bat them away with your short sword or your long greatsword. No problem. Back to you.
All right. I'm going to try the same thing.
Booming blade. 8. 8 plus, what's your attack bonus?
4. 12.
Plus, okay, so that's 12. 12 hits.
Mm-hmm. Huzzah.
So you get to do 2d6 plus 2 damage. And with the booming blade, if it moves, it takes another d8 damage. As in, if it tries to like move, not like if it moves to attack, but if it like moves at all.
All right. So that's 10.
2d6. Very nice.
Yeah, 2d6 plus 2, right? So
yep.
10.
Yep. So this time, as you kind of bat its arms away, having learned from before, come much harder down and are able to like actually cleave off an entire section of the tendrils that are coming at you. And as you score this hit, as you're coming down, there's this vibration around your sword, and as it hits this creature, it transfers and just surrounds this layer of vibrating air around this creature, such that if it moves, it takes an extra d8. Would you like to move?
No, I'm feeling good about where I am.
Okay. And essentially, in a one-on-one fight like this with Booming Blade, for you to really get the benefit of the bonus, you're going to have to like run away, so it has to chase you, because otherwise if it just stands there and y'all keep fighting, it's never going to move.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
I guess it's probably not going to run away, huh?
Well, it'll get an opportunity attack against you if you move, but then on its turn for it to come catch you, then it would have to move. So it's kind of a game you want to play. Do you want to get an extra D8 and maybe get hit? Or do you want to just stay where you are?
I think I'll stay where I am. I get the impression that this thing is probably not going to get a lot of chances to hit me, but if it hits me, it's going to be hard.
Wise move. All right. It's going to come at you with those tendrils again. 6 definitely doesn't hit. As it's coming at you this time, now it has fewer of these vines flailing from its arms, and you're able to like easily parry them away. Back to you.
All right. Well, I feel like there's not really much point in doing anything else.
It's just the image of the, like, you know, channeling the spell into a sword while also academically smoking a pipe, like,
Puff, puff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just going to hit it with Booming Blade again.
Go for it.
Ha-cha. So that's 16.
16 definitely hits. Now, in case, as a gentle reminder, at the top, when you look at your actions that you can do, actually it's not even in your actions. When you go to your second page and you have all your wonderful class features, one of them is a Divine Smite. So after you hit, for example, right now, then you can decide to spend one of your spell slots to add 2d8 damage to that hit. So it would be your 2d6 plus 2 plus 2d8. But you'd have to mark off the spell slot.
Do I have the impression that this thing is like still doing pretty well, or?
I mean, it's not too happy that you carved off some of its tendrils, but it's also seems like it's still coming at you. Just again, you're also not super familiar with this kind of creature, but like you carved off, you know, maybe 30% of its tendrils.
Okay, I'll Divine Smite it.
Cool. All right. So 2d6, then 2d8.
Nice.
Then your plus 2. So that is 16, 18. You all see as he comes swirling his sword around, and this time, instead of the instead of the vibrations, you see that there's this kind of dark energy, maybe dark flame around it. Scout, with your 18 damage, how do you want to do this?
So like, I don't know. I think he's just gonna like basically like slash his great sword like all the way like deep into its like body, like Rob Roy style, like right into its like midsection. And then like he's gonna like grab it by the throat and say like, "This is justice."
You see exactly this. Carves down and almost goes straight through the body, grabs it by the throat, tells it, I'm assuming no one else can hear what he's saying, but as he does, he just keeps kind of carving the sword back and forth until he cuts this thing in half, falls to the ground, no longer moving. Having not even really chipped off a single scratch on the blood-covered armor that is this mystery man.
So the two outcomes appear to be take no damage
Tale of
or
two cities.
have death mechanic.
Yeah, it's almost as if there's strength in having a group that you fight with together as opposed to one-on-one.
Wow.
That's shocking.
Was this a educational episode?
Almost like the game was designed that way.
As the two have like slowly stop wriggling, this armored dwarf booms out. Very impressive. Thank you for keeping this one short and sweet. Seeks entry into our ranks.
And he says, like, sort of like barely audible to the crowd, day fair, child of Tyr.
What did you say?
One more time? Come again?
His name is Dayfair, and he said, Dayfair, child of Tyr. Who, if you studied your forgotten realms god.
Yes, and no arcana, no religion checks are needed. Tyr, when you hear Tyr, you think of, you know that this is the god of justice. Most of you, that's about all you know. Some of you may know more or less. As at this moment, the entire arena darkens momentarily as this large object passes overhead. As you all glance up, you watch the silhouette of a massive adult dragon circle once directly above you before flying off towards the peaks of the Sword Mountain. And then it's gone.
Holy shit.
I have one goddamn fucking hit point, John. No dragons yet, please.
Over the course of many hours, hundreds more participants make their way into the ring. Some walk out victorious, others are dragged out and added to the continuously growing pile of those deemed unworthy of the title of Monster Slayer. Some are actually killed by the Duergar's giant battle axe as they try to flee the clutches of whatever it is that they're fighting. As the sun begins to set behind the mountains, the final match closes. Looking around the hills, less than 100 remain standing where perhaps 500 had started the day. With this, you any reactions? Essentially, like as things are ending, there's a moment for kind of everyone. The entire crowd is kind of remaining group is gathering together. Anyone have anything in particular they would like to do or would have done during, you know, the remaining hours of the day and the battles?
I'm assuming that there was the opportunity to take a short rest baked in there as hundreds of other people fought.
Yes, there is the opportunity to take a short rest. So if you would like to do a short rest, you're welcome to. As a reminder to any still figuring out how to navigate the character sheet, right in the middle where it has your max hit points, efficiency bonus, etc., it shows you your hit dice and how many you have. So for you, for example, you have 3d8 you could use, and you can use as many of them as you want. And I think it's smart enough to where if you put them into the used box, when you take a long rest, no, it's not smart enough to do that. Okay, never mind. You do have to manually update that whenever you take a long rest. Anyway, anybody else outside of resting up?
Yes, short rest.
We're heading into a long rest, right? I assume.
What time is it? Did it take the full day?
That took the rest of the day, and you are actually, by rules of a long rest, I'm pretty sure you just have to be not doing something.
8 hours of not doing stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so actually, you know what? No. Oh no, during which a character sleeps for at least 6 hours. So actually, no. You have the opportunity for short rest, and using hit die, you don't get a full long rest. Okay. So anybody who wants to take one can take one.
Yeah, John, real quick, can you help me? I'm a little bit if I take a short rest, I get some points back, right? Can you roll for me?
I can. So on your character sheet, you have D6 hit dice, so you could use up to 3 of them. How many would you like to use?
So if I take 3, I don't get one at a long rest. Is that right?
No. If you take however many you take, you're gonna get I think half of them back at a long rest. You get that. You'll still get healed at a long rest per usual. You just recover spent hit die at a long rest. So I would say
use 2.
Cool. And you can actually use one. You can use one at a time. So.
Okay, I'm gonna use. Okay, I'm gonna use 1. It says D6 plus 2 for me.
Yep. So the first one you would get. So you got 3 hit points for the first one and 5 hit points for the second one. So 8 total.
8 total. Okay. And is that plus 2? Sorry.
That was factoring in the plus 2s. They were both really crappy rolls.
Okay, of course, because that's what I do. Thank you.
Nice.
That is
and Adam,
my specialty this time around.
Adam, how much did you heal?
I took all 3, so I'm back up to. I added 17, so I'm at 18 hit points.
18. Okay.
Which is more than Nampoodle ever had throughout the entire course of our campaign as max hit points. So I'm feeling
nice. All right. Anything else from anybody?
Yeah. Can I take my third one? Sorry.
You want to do the third one too?
Yes.
All right. Cool. I think that's a wise move. So that's 8 more. So just mark on your character sheet when you get a chance that you have used all 3 hit dice.
I
cool.
did. Thank you.
I was just going to say that, like, my character is not, he doesn't have to rest because he didn't take any damage, which is pretty cool. But anybody who notices him, sees him, he's got his sword sort of like point down into the ground, and he's clearly like praying, like holding his sword. And he's like looking at the sigil that's sort of carved into the pommel of the sword, which is the hammer of Tyr. And he's clearly concentrating on a tiny little flame that's floating above it, which is black. And he's clearly like not happy about that. And it's just like, you can see him muttering prayers, desperately trying to like do something to that flame.
I'm going to assume just because
also during the day, like as the matches are going on, like Flickwist had cheered and provided commentary the most on those that he had quote unquote befriended the night before, but he's still providing lots of very loud ooh and ah, ooh that hurt, like kind of commentaries on like all of the hundreds of matches, even after others have maybe faded away.
Any other carcasses he tried to butcher?
No, that's only for his own kill.
Nice. Oh, a man of honor. All right. At this point, the armored dwarf speaks out to those still remaining. Now that the weak are gone, the remainder of the test will be completed in teams. Teamwork is key in this profession, as I imagine some of you were starting to put together during this encounter. As many of the creatures that we are sent up against are far more powerful than even the strongest individual could take down on their own. Well, most of us, that is. The guild master is another story entirely. Phase 2 is simple. Make it to the guild hall alive and be there for phase 3. The guild hall is located 24 miles west at the top of the northern Sword Mountain range here. To get there, simply follow the path. Climbing the mountains themselves can be deadly, as all manner of things make their home in those peaks. Lift Rasa, and he points at the gray-skinned dwarf. And I recommend going under the mountains instead of over. 4 miles from here is the entrance to the tunnels, and another 20 miles underground will bring you to the Yeti's climb. Straight up that will pop you out right at the front door. And with that, he gives a wink with his one eye. The third and final phase of the test will take place at our guild hall tomorrow at noon. Don't be late. Lifterasa will now come around and assign you to your group. Good luck to you. And with that,
yells out, dibs on despair.
with that, this armored dwarf leaps forward off of this ledge of the hill into the air above the arena and very slowly drifts down to the ground, his armored frame impossibly landing with the grace of a feather. As he approaches the center of the ring, the portal you've seen many times throughout the day opens once more. He steps through and he's gone. Wow. The darker skinned dwarf that he was referencing, still standing by the entrance, begins just calling out names, seemingly just from memory. And as each name is called, that person kind of steps forward. And after about every 5 or 6 people, a small little gathering moves off and she calls the next. So she calls out Kari and Flickwitz and Balthazar, Dayfair, and the last name she calls is Barb. And at this, this little goblin comes running up. Long black hair, pointy green ears, no weapons, no armor, no backpack, just like raw goblin with some tattered leather pants on, with these massive teeth, huge grin, just looking around at all of you. And with that, she says, "This is your group. Carry on."
What was the name of the goblin?
Barg.
Barg?
B-A-R-G. Barg.
Hi, Barg.
Like the root beer.
Did we see?
You can call me Flick.
Did we see Barg fight?
Make a perception check.
Hey. 9.
Total?
9. Yeah.
There were so many people that were fighting throughout the day that it was impossible to keep track of everyone.
Fair enough.
Barg looks down at your hand, Flick, as you reach out to shake it, and he licks his lips and is like, "You guys ready to go?"
Ready as I'll ever be.
No?
Yep.
Yes?
What time?
Yeah.
Of day is it? It's like
Oh, it
early
is.
evening.
It is like this all happened as the sun was setting. Like it is just after sunset.
And they said it's 4 miles to the guild hall.
He
24.
said it was 24 miles to the west at the top of the mountain range.
Oh, so we got to get going because we have to be there by noon.
And the 4 miles was, he referenced that his advice would be to not go over the mountains, but instead go under the mountain. The opposite of what is advised in Lord of the Rings.
There's a foul voice in the wind.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
But also it's a little on the nose that the dwarf would suggest to go over, like under the mountain instead of over it.
Although, are we in a forest, John, just in general, like the layout?
Are you in a forest?
Or like the, I guess the mountain range is like a forested mountain range, or is it like rock?
It is from
Beyond all the bones.
yeah, I guess from what you have seen, and you're, I don't know what Flick would know, but like from the maps that you have seen, it would seem to indicate that this is like a foothills slowly just becomes rockier and rockier mountains, and the forest is like to the south and on the south side of the mountain. So unless you kind of curved south and went out of your way, you wouldn't be in forest. But if you did, you could try to approach through the forest.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just asking because if we were in, we're going under the mountains. If we were in a forest, Quick would have been disappointed because he's at home in the forest. But
No.
since it's rocky terrain above, then like, okay, let's get going. Let's get to the tunnel.
Let's go.
Yeah.
At this, Varg reaches out his hands like, yeah, let's go. So where are you going?
Under the mountain.
So you're currently standing outside of this this bone arena in the middle of these foothills, and you have been directed to go west and to follow the path.
Yeah.
Okay.
let's do
So I guess
that.
we'll go west and follow the path.
Cool. Who's kind of leading? Who's leading the party? Who is everyone else following?
So I think that Flickwits would be kind of at the front of the group, but at the same time not necessarily leading it. More, I'm kind of like ranging off to the side, back and forth off the path, like just kind of like getting the lay of the land, but more also like in a hyperactive child kind of way, like picking up a rock and be like, "Ooh, look at this," and just kind of, zigzagging back and forth, but investigating the land.
All right. So who's leading the main party?
I mean, I guess Dayfair is just going to like kind of like march like as if he's leading his own party of himself, and is sort of only moderately aware of the other people around him. So he'll just be kind of in front.
Great. Flick and Dayfair make survival checks.
That's wisdom, I
Survival.
think.
16 plus 3, 19.
19? All right.
Yeah.
Two.
Natural one. All right. So Dayfair just starts walking west, and everybody else just like falls in behind him, and you kind of leave the immediate vicinity of the arena and make it kind of up a hill, down a hill, coming up again. And as you all look around, you realize you don't see a path anywhere. You are just like in the middle of grass, hills all around, no path at all. Flick, you've kind of like been bouncing around the hillside, and you like very easily can see, just about 30 yards north around the next hill, there's very clearly a path. There was nowhere close to where this arena was, and you wouldn't have found it unless you were like carefully scouting for it.
And is it tall grass?
Yeah, we'll say that the grass that y'all are walking through is probably 2 feet tall.
Okay, well, still probably, I mean, like,
You're tall.
I guess chest height on Flick, but he's gonna like jump up and be like, hey guys, over here, I found the path.
Okay.
Good work, little one.
So the rest
Follow.
your fearless leader says, okay, and then slowly turns and
Yeah.
walks after you, and
Yeah.
through the guidance of Flick and Dayfair together, you find this path and start meandering your way along it west. And actually, I think this is probably the perfect place to end for today.
Cool.
As being totally candid, I have the complete plan for the rest, but I wasn't expecting us to get much farther than this, so it's actually going to be very convenient for me, if we can pause it. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome to day 1 of the new campaign.
Yay.
Nice.
Only 2 of us almost died.
Yeah.
Jeez. And if we didn't have very special like class or race things to
Yeah, I mean,
you would have had a very small group of people joining the Monster Slayer Guild.
I had a like, Deus Ex Machina up my sleeve if I needed to, but it was gonna feel, contrived, and everybody would have been disappointed. So I'm glad that we were able to keep it special.
I actually thought about this character. I'm so glad I made it.
I know, me too.
Nice.
And I had forgotten about my relentless endurance. I read through my character sheet today and was like, oh, I'm not going to need that until at least like the 5th session.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this is all of my own creation. So Curse of Strahd was structurally made of like everything is meant to kill you. Don't assume you can go in and kill everything and win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have not approached this one that way, but I did cut my teeth in running this game on Curse of Strahd. So I would say like expect that like some fights won't be easy to win or possible to win. So just
John,
use
if you're
all
the
your
one that completely homebrewed this, that means you're the son of a bitch that killed Nordal.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean,
Birthday
come on.
and Nordal. The blood is on your hands, John.
Listen, I had to, show that these guys mean business, and what better way than to create a lovable character just to kill them as soon as I could.
Nice.
That was a good point.
For Nordal.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're all going to
All
get
right,
matching Nordal tattoos after this.
Yeah. Nordal is the patron saint of our group.
No, little do you know, that was Perry's character, and I killed him just to show you what happens if you miss a session.
Nice.
So Perry's obviously going to be the unarmed, unclothed goblin.
That's
The raw goblin.
Raw goblin.
No GMO in this
Something
goblin.
like that.
We'll find out. All right. So I think we have, I think everything's still just occurring every 2 weeks into the foreseeable future. I'm sure there'll be summer stuff causing that to mess up, but we'll deal with it when we get there. If you would like to have a more unique character token like we did last time, feel free to make another one in Hero Forge. And if you remember, just do the screenshot in the bottom and you can send it to me, and we can use it in Roll20. But otherwise, cool. I hope today gave everybody a chance to like really tease out what your characters can do. And so we'll go from there.
Cool. John,
Awesome.
I'm going to be gone
Thank you, John.
during the next session.
You'll be gone 2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone else who already knows, let me know. And otherwise, I'll also be looking back. I should make sure that I'm going to be here for the next session. I'm going to be gone for the next session because of the wedding. So we'll just reschedule it.
Cool.
Okay. So sweet.
All right. Thank you, John.
Also,
Later, guys.
just to get ahead of it,
Yeah.
I'm going to be not the next one, but first, second week of July is when we're moving. So
Cool. Given this was the time of year that was a big pain in the ass last year, I might just do a doodle for like the whole summer and send it out and see when everybody's free.
Good idea. Cool.
All right.
also, since I'm on paternity leave, it can be any day.
All right. Well, I'll see everybody whenever it works out again.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, everyone.
All right. Later.
Bye.